Daniel, don't do that, because we don't know what could happen. Basically, by doing this action, you're committing an offense. He's quite new in the crypto space, and unfortunately, he made the mistake of sharing the seed phrases. This whole thing is pretty moral. You asked, we answer. We're starting the self-test today. So, what exactly happens if you fall for these dubious comments, which you've probably already seen under our videos, where some seed phrases are given and people are asking for help and so on? We don't want to give too much away. Let's take a look at this together. That it's a scam, we're probably all in agreement on that. We'll also talk about what could happen to all the XRP candidates right now. So especially if you hold XRP, you should stick around until the end. And last but not least, we also have the drawing for the Advent calendar. New door, and I also have Cointip for you. And by the way, we weren't paid for that. So we're diving in. I'm taking a deep sip of coffee, and we'll see each other after the intro. But what exactly is going on with these comments? I actually had to dig a little deeper because I'm always trying to delete all these comments. But I have to tell you, it's so immense. How many of these fake scam comments appear that I can't keep up with them at all? It's really crazy. I can no longer control myself. So it's really wild. By the way, on the side, since we just had a correction, maybe you should take another look at those videos. It can definitely be exciting. Feel free to click in here. Definitely, let's scroll down a bit and take a comment like this as an example. Thanks for the explanation. I have a quick question. My OKX wallet contains USDT and I have the seed phrase. Blah, blah, blah. How can I transfer that to Binance now? Now, there are, of course, various ways to react to that. You could, of course, assume in the first step that he's quite new to the crypto space. Unfortunately, he made the mistake of giving out the seed phrases. However, if you look at the frequency and sometimes even the duplication of the seed phrases, you might want to ask different questions because good intentions are definitely not involved. I pulled this out for you and we're talking about something called a honeypot USAND. So what exactly is a honeypot? Well, as the name suggests, there's something really tasty in the wallet, and the savvy crypto investor wants to get their hands on it. Now, you could say at this point that you would probably only send those funds out to return them to the original holder. Of course, we don't want to accuse anyone of anything bad, so where would that get us? So you can also say that this whole story is quite moral, but we'll get to that in a moment. I found an interesting article. This honeypot is aimed at either catching greedy people or taking advantage of those who are, a bit too helpful. And that's the principle behind such a honeypot, that you're lured in, whether it's through X, Discord, or now here on YouTube. Often the private keys or the seed phrases are given out, and then you just wait to see what the finder does. Basically, by doing this, you are committing a criminal offense, apart from the fact that you find something and do not return it. But in the crypto space, hey, so what? No one is going to find you anyway. By the way, at that point, maybe you remember I did a reel about this back in January this year. It was all happening in Vienna, Austria, but it also spread to Germany, to Munich and Berlin. Is there also an article about this that basically covers the same thing? The trick behind it was that there were supposedly a few $1,000s in these paper wallets. And of course, some people got a bit too excited and thought, wow, I made a big catch. And in the end, they ended up getting burned. Oh wait, it was even over. €1,000, well, good morning. You can definitely take action there. You can also read through it in detail. In the end, it's exactly the same process, only here we're talking about paper wallets. And in the other case, the seed phrases are given out digitally. It's also a bit easier for the scammers. They don't even have to step outside. They can just post a few things online. But how does it all work now? And I found a pretty interesting article here. You can also read through it in detail later. The moral scam. And that really hits the nail on the head. In the end, you see it on here somewhere. No, you don't see it. Then let me explain it to you. So in the first step, you're lured in with, I read it myself in my Telegram group, by the way. If you're not part of it yet, check the description. There's the link. There are also updates, trend trading. So if you're into coin tips, bonuses that I gather from projects and exchanges, and of course some market analysis that can really help you with trading, then you should join. No one else can post there except me. I share daily updates, so check the description, and of course it's all free. Anyway, you're first lured in with, oh, these are seed phrases, come on, grab them and set it up. And I would like to briefly explain to you at this point why I personally not set this up, I thought. But then I talked to Albert Queenberger. If you don't know him, he's a crypto expert. I can show you live. Contact him directly. I've reported on that, and there's a way to get a forensic report for the police. Anyway, he gave me the tip. Daniel, don't do it, as there are many types of scams now. So I can give you the tip, especially if you've been scammed. Dealing with authorities is a tricky thing. I've reported on that quite a bit. And yes, there's actually a way to get a forensic report done, which you can then use with the police. Anyway, he gave me the tip and said, Daniel, don't do it, because we don't know what could happen, since there are now all sorts of scams out there. The simplest way is you set up this wallet and see, oh, that's annoying. Now there's whatever amount of USDT sitting there, which often is real. However, there's a multi-signature wallet set up behind it. That's a multi-signature wallet, which means you need 2 people to approve a transaction with this wallet. Well, the annoying thing is that for these transaction fees, unfortunately, they don't cover it, for example. In that case, Tron doesn't work. What do you do there? Then, of course, you quickly send over some Tron, hoping that you can withdraw it. And then, what a surprise, huh? The bear trap has snapped shut. And that's pretty painful, even if it was often just $10 or $20. But it's the measures that matter, because you can't withdraw since a second party also has to approve the transaction. That's still the simplest case. But the much worse case behind it can also be, hey, sorry friends, looks a bit different. You enter into a smart contract, and with this smart contract, for example, your existing MetaMask wallet can be emptied. So you often have several MetaMask wallets, which is why I didn't set anything up at all. I can only advise everyone, including the person who wrote in our group, that unfortunately they're already past that point because the wallet has already been set up. I would be very careful about that. Basically, from what I have been able to read here, there is no danger. However, setting up any foreign wallets is a different story. And we all know that there are smart contracts in the background, and you can do so much with them, but none of us really have a clue about it because we're not programmers. So, I would be very careful about that. But since we're on the topic of fraud, I'm going to take it a step further. That's what I found, for example. Found at Kaspersky. I find it very, very interesting that scammers are also trying to grab seed phrases. And indeed, I have experienced that live myself. At that time, I invested in a crypto project, and somehow I couldn't access those tokens. So then I joined the official group on Telegram and just wrote, I needed help with claiming. And then it took off. I suddenly got calls from 20, 30, 50 admin accounts on Telegram. Then one of them picked up, and there was a really friendly Indian on the line who told me, yeah, you need to click on this website. And when you're on the website, it looks something like that too. And select MetaMask, and to claim, you just need to enter the seed phrases here. Of course, brother, sure, let's do it right away. Of course not. So that's just as much a scam if anyone asks you for your seed phrases, no matter who it is, 2001. Absolute bullshit, don't do it. Important, you can only end up getting burned with that. By the way, this whole thing has also hit Ripple pretty hard. There's also a cool video about that. I actually had it in a video before. And it's about this big problem of, yeah, send me 1 Ripple and I'll send you back 2 tomorrow. With Ripple, it's still manageable, but with Bitcoin, this trick was also used, and it can be quite painful. 2001, and you wouldn't want to believe it, but enough people fall for it. So please just think about it. Especially when you have a hype currency that's been pumped up. It's obviously likely that scams will pop up quickly around it. So especially if you hear about something out there where you can somehow multiply your XRPs, whatever, in the most dubious way, then please think about it first. So it's often simply common sense, like in this moral scam case where you have to say, yeah, the person doing it is probably driven by greed, but as I said, in many cases, everyone can evaluate that for themselves and logical. Now you might be wondering, okay, how can I really build passive income in some way? And there are indeed legal ways to do that where you won't fall into any scams or anything like that. I've talked about it several times now, Pionex GridBot, so I'm using this trading bot myself, and I have to say it runs smoothly. However, I'm also trying to push it to the extremes right now, like for example, for me, it has now also stopped going down due to the correction. Yeah, you really have to approach it healthily, like how much leverage, etc. It always sounds funny with 30 times leverage, but then you can get liquidated pretty quickly. Definitely what I've gotten out of Pionex, and that's only running until the 24th December, a 500 bonus. That means you can choose here, well, you deposit an amount and then you get a credit in USDT on top of that. That makes it all exciting because, of course, the more runs in the bot, the more can come out in the end. Down here, you can also read through all the terms and conditions. I'm not going to go into detail about how to set up the bot properly and whatever. Feel free to click here, you'll find all the information. I've explained that in detail in the video, so you don't go in over-leveraged, etc. But what is Cointip actually? Yes, and I have something quite interesting. I'll just say right away, I'm not being paid by this project. Yes, I'm personally invested, and it's important to mention that I've even made a video about this project in the past. Feel free to click here. Super exciting. So, I didn't know before that there's basically the regular PayPal coin and that there's a fake one. And by the way, the fake one is the newer one, in case you're wondering how that ties in with based AI. And I can tell you, yes, the rise was really crazy. However, it's worth mentioning that as of 2021, this is still down from its all-time high. And right now, a pretty attractive value has emerged. So, the last time I bought it, I think it was around 230 or something. Of course, that was on a whole different level. However, it's worth mentioning that this thing was already over $6, and you could see that even in the bull run, it performed well. Sorry, I correct myself. It was even over $8. So this value can definitely be interesting, especially considering what happens during a real altcoin season. So, I could also make a separate video about that, and like I said, I would take a look at it first. Do your own research. This is not investment advice, that's clear. Feel free to check out our video on that and then decide for yourself. But I didn't want to withhold from you that this value is really interesting right now. And now we come to the drawing of our advent calendar door, and indeed, yes, the topic has really caught your attention. So I can only give you the tip to watch the video again. Here's the link. It's really important to know how you should react and where we stand in the altcoin season. Wait, there's actually none right now, but will it come back, and how does it continue from here? I've explained it here in detail. Definitely. Thank you so much for all the comments that came in. Let's talk about it. I definitely think that's really strong. First, let's simply copy the web link, paste the address here, and then we will proceed to load the cannon and finally select a lucky winner from the participants. And then I say congratulations. There's quite a bit of text involved, interest rate decision or not. If Trump is the official president, then there will be a sell the news event, and after that, it will shoot up. That's just my opinion, but thanks for the update. It's definitely realistic. It could go that way. We'll see. Well, no one can really say for sure, no matter what is being said out there right now, but it's definitely possible. Gary Gensler comes to power at the same time as Trump. Those are definitely a few news items that could turn bullish again. And now let's get right to the drawing. We have an envelope here, originally sealed, and I can tell you right away, if you want to participate in the giveaway, then please make sure to create a BitMEX account first. How can you set that up? Check out the description. You get a $25 voucher from us, so that's pretty cool already, or rather, from BitMEX to trade, and then you can get started there. Please leave a comment down below. So what do you think about this scam? Do you think, yeah, okay, if you fall for it, it's your own fault? That's actually logical. Or do you say you've fallen for it before? So please everyone be nice in the comments. If anything stupid comes up or if someone gets laughed at, folks, it will be deleted. It's simple, I'm strict. But first, what can you win? Here we have a little note, specifically 200. That means you can win 200 BitMEX tokens. And otherwise, if the discussion is supposed to continue, please join our Telegram group. We can exchange ideas a bit more easily there. You also hear voices from the community. See you in the next video. Until then, all the best. Bye.